Hi guys, it's Dave. Today I'm out here in the garden. We've had a really good spring for the garden. Lots of cool weather and rain, and so the peas are growing well and lots of lettuce and spinach. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to pick some radishes and make some pickled radishes for you. And here we are out here in this patch of radishes. They look pretty good, and if I pull the greenery back, we can see that they're growing really well, and a lot of them are ready to be picked. So that's what we're gonna do. In fact, this guy right here, I'll pull him out. He's a delightful radish. He's the right size. Perfect. I'm gonna look for several more just like that, and then we'll take them inside. Okay, I've got the radishes inside. I gave them a quick wash off with the hose to just get the majority of the dirt off. Now I've got them inside, and I'm going to clean these up. It's not too hard. They're pretty simple little veggies here. I'm just going to take a paring knife and cut the tails, and then cut the tops off, and put those aside. And then I will get those thrown out in the compost where the worms can eat them, and we'll make use of those as well. And so I'm just going to finish this up, and then we'll slice them up and make some pickles. You'll see some of these radishes are split. That doesn't affect anything. It just means that we've gotten a lot of water this spring, a lot of rain, and that these radishes have grown so quickly they burst their skins as they grow. Some of them split pretty dramatically, but again, it doesn't affect their taste whatsoever, and using them slicing them up for pickles like this it won't affect that in any way, shape, or form. So these are perfectly good radishes. Okay, now the radishes are all cleaned off. They got an extra rinse, and now I'm just going to thinly slice them. Sort of the thinner the better, but you don't want them so thin that they're not usable. They're so thin that you can't, they break as you slice through the radish, but you still want them pretty thin. I'm going to go ahead and slice the rest of these. Won't make you stick around for all that necessarily. It is the most lengthy process here, but I generally don't like radishes a lot in salads. They are absolutely a blast to grow in the garden. They grow quick and they're fun, and they almost always work. But they're not really my favorite thing in a relish tray or just sliced in a salad. So I really like using them in this way as pickles. I will use them as a garnish on street tacos, or I've certainly seen them. You could use it like a daikon, and if you wanted to do like a Korean barbecue and those kind of treatments, that always works as well. But I much prefer them in this form than necessarily just sliced and eaten. And now I'm going to make a really simple brine. It's just 1 cup of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of salt. That all goes in. We're going to not necessarily boil it, but just get it warm enough that everything dissolves, and it is there are no particulates still in that brine. And then we're going to let it cool off. Now, while that brine cools, I'm going to fill the jar and get it ready. In addition to the radishes, I'm slicing these serrano peppers. Because I'm using it for tacos, I want this to have some spice to it, some heat, and these serrano peppers will absolutely do the job on that. Certainly not going to use all this for my 1 little jar of radishes, but while I've got it, I might as well slice it all the way down. Then I'm going to take my jar and just layer some radishes in there. And then put in a few peppers, and put in a little of this roughly chopped cilantro. It doesn't have to be really finely chopped like you would use for salsa or anything else, because it's just giving us flavor with these radishes more than anything. But just kind of go in alternating layers or mix it up or however. If you were doing a big jar, I would probably just put one big sprig of cilantro in there, and that would get the point across. And I'm going to just leave a little space here at the top to give it some headroom once the brine gets on there. And now this brine is cooled off, so I'm going to put a funnel on the top of our jar and just fill it with that brine. Get that out of the way. Put a lid on, and there we have it. Pickled radishes. Those can go in the refrigerator, and they'll be good for several weeks. If you wanted to actually put them in a hot water bath canner and make them shelf stable, you could absolutely do that. No problem with that at all.